check the feed really quick, Israel. Make sure we all good. We're gonna get rocking and rolling. All right. All right, we good to go. Hey, Shalom, Israel. We are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, where we are led by the Commanding General YAHANNA. Understand, since 1969, we've been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth about the Bible. The truth that they are the Israelites, which means that they are God's true chosen children. You know what I'm saying? His chosen people. You know what I'm saying? Since 1969, since 1969, we've been teaching the truth, and we haven't been affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group, man. Since then, we are still not affiliated with any other so-called Hebrew Israelite group, man. There's only one truth, that is the I.S.U.P.K. If you are not in the I.S.U.P.K, you are not in the truth. Today is Friday. This is the I.S.U.P.K. Houston, Galveston, Port Arthur, Beaumont, and Lufkin. You know what I'm saying? The greater area of Houston and including deep East Texas. Friday Lashawan Qadash class, man. Lashawan meaning holy, Lashawan meaning tongue, and Qadash meaning holy. So Lashawan Qadash translates to the holy tongue. You know what I'm saying? It is the language of the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Our native language, which is the Hebrew. In the days of the Old Testament, black and brown people, before they were referred to as black and brown people, they were referred to as Jews or the Israelites. And that's what they spoke. They spoke the Hebrew. Tawada Yahweh, Yahweh Shah for the I.S.U.P.K. Because with this, you know what I'm saying, with Command General Hana and what he's done, we're able to get back into our culture and learn how to read, write, and speak the Hebrew. That's what we're doing today, man. We're getting back into our culture, learning how to read, write, and speak the ancient and paleo Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? Without any further ado, we're gonna get into it, man. So lucky if I started early, if I'm catching anybody off guard, I'm gonna say lucky in advance because I might have to end even a little bit earlier. I might be ending 10 minutes early. You know what I'm saying? Because the press of the devil, the Bible speaks of. You know what I'm saying he's he's delighted when people in the Israelites go through stress and trauma. You know what I'm saying? It brings him joy. So you know, niggas got slaveries and oppression that they got to deal with. So it's lucky in advance, Israel. But we gonna get it in. This is as close as I could get. We're gonna start off class the way we always start off class. It's like that's not good enough. Right. So we're gonna start off class the way we always start off class. And that's by going over this chart right here, which is the Hebrew alphabet. Weird. No sweat. It's good enough. Never mind this. This right here you see is the Hebrew alphabet given to us from the studies of our fathers in the I.S.U.P.K, man. Our founding fathers in the I.S.U.P.K came up with this chart. This chart is the correct Lashawan Qadash, or the correct Hebrew. And all the letters, all 22 characters, starting from I all the way to Ta. And the Hebrew is read and written from right to left. So we start I on this side or the Ta on this side. You know what I'm saying? All words in Hebrew are a combination of some of these 22 characters. Down below we have the Assyrian. It looks different, but it's the same thing. Ta through Ta. It looks different just because it was derived in a different captivity. You know what I'm saying? In the ancient Hebrew, you have to be mindful of these connectors. These little squiggly lines you see up here. You know what I'm saying? A squiggly line under one letter means that in pronunciating, that letter is said alone. Put a squiggly line under two letters, combining them means those two letters are pronunciated combined. So we have la, sha, and wa and na have a squiggly combining it, making that wine. La, sha, wine. That's what we have to be mindful of in the ancient. Under Assyrian, there we don't have to be mindful of connectors, but we have to remember these five particular letters. We have ka, ma, na, pa, and saza. If a word ends in these particular five letters, you use the symbols down below rather than the symbols up here. The symbols up here go at the beginning of the word or in the middle of the word. But if it ends in these particular five letters, then you use these particular symbols. There we have it. Let's go over it. Repeat after me if you like. You're gonna go ah, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ha, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, ta, za, kwa, ra, sha, and ka. Already. All right, there you have it. So we're gonna get into the lesson, man. Today's lesson is, you know what I'm saying, what we've been waiting for. You know what I'm saying, the end of the milk scripture, not scripture, but the milk Hebrew series. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna present how to so in the milk series that we've been. Damn, it's like, give me 1 second. I don't want to break anything. Shit. All right. Right. So, like I was saying, in the milk series, we've been learning how to formulate sentences, man. I'm going to give us a brief recap of the milk, but we're going to be able to, at the end of today's class, we're going to be able to ask questions and even answer questions. So, you know what I'm saying, with the milk, here, let's start getting it in. I might be moving fast, so lucky if I'm moving quickly, it's just because I want to be able to get a full lesson in before I have to leave, man. You know what I'm saying? The oppressor of the devil, he got me having to slave and I'm supposed to teach. Lucky. Be right back because I got to get something right before. So, like I was saying, we're going to be able to learn how to say formulate questions. I know I promised you guys. So a sentence is a basic sentence or a regular complete sentence. It has a subject, a verb, an object. That's all you really need is a subject, a verb, and an object. The subject being a noun, you know what I'm saying, Johnny, a pronoun that, a verb being action that Johnny is doing. Johnny walked, and the object. What did Johnny walk? Where did Johnny walk? What something has to do to complete the thought with Johnny walking to the store. Johnny walked to the store. That's a complete sentence. So we've been in the milk series. We've been learning how to say Johnny walked. You know what I'm saying? How to conjugate our verbs. We've been learning how to conjugate nouns. The store. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? Conjugating nouns and verbs to get a complete thought. Because in Hebrew is a direct language. You don't need too many words. Johnny walked to the store would be 2 words in Hebrew. That's how it's supposed to be. Again, you know, I'm teaching you guys the the how to for lack of better word, I guess I say the the particulars, the particulars of the language. You know what I'm saying how to correlate the language from English. But in the days of the Old Testament, the language is spoken directly, and you know what I'm saying. It had as little filler as possible. That's why you'll see Officer 5,000 Tazadat and Officer 5,000 Hazahab. You know what I'm saying. When they teach the Hebrew, you know what I'm saying. It might be brutish even. You know what I'm saying, because it's so direct and simple, if you will. But I'm giving us Slocky. I'm giving us Hebrew that we can understand the science of the language. For lack of a better word, I know that sounds just the particulars of the language. So yeah, so this is not being friendly with time, man. Wow. It's not a coincidence that the people doing the things that matter have low fund have are not being funded and not being, you know what I'm saying, don't have the proper equipment to do what they need. Again, man, I.S.U.P.K is bringing our culture back to God, letting the people of God know that they are God's chosen people, and bringing us back to our culture. But you see, you know what I'm saying, we working with old markers and not we don't even have little white board wipe downs and stuff. But meanwhile, you know what I'm saying, crazy stuff like pornography has a crazy budget. That's the underdog always comes up in the end, man. Remember that. Aki Nakwaki. He grew milk. Now, questions. All right. So we're gonna go over a recap real quick. So, like I was just saying, a sentence has um, a subject plus a verb plus an object or a complement. Subject, we know, is a noun or pronoun. The verb is what it is, and the object is a noun. So this is a complete sentence. All right, so like I just said, Johnny walked to the store. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do that for our example. Just to recap, because we'll do another example too. But the store, I'm gonna say, oh, the camp, because I don't know how to say store in Hebrew. So Johnny walked to the camp, or he walked to the camp. So he walked to the camp. He walked to the camp. So before we start conjugating, he walked. because that'll be our first thing to conjugate. He walked is something that we went over conjugated verbs for past tense and for whatever pronoun, and then also the word walk. We got to remember those things we're conjugating. But we're gonna do walk too. He walked too. That's what we're gonna. All that's gonna be the first conjugation. We're gonna go ahead and do the camp. So camp, I say camp as war. The war is malakma. Malakma. So conjugated verbs for the proper formality, you know what I'm saying? Conjugating, or not verbs, but nouns. You know what I'm saying? A noun could be either formal, it could be pluralized, or it could be uh, possessive. You know what I'm saying? My camp. My camp would be Malak Maya, my camp or my war. But the camp is Ha Malakma. That's the formality of it. So the, you had that ha at the beginning. Ha Malakma. That's the camp. He walked too. Again, I'm giving you guys the 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 science of it. So I'm gonna put he on there too. Even though when you put he walk, walk is halak. So walk is halak. Halak. So we gotta look up how to conjugate halak for he, the pronoun he, and past tense. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna look this up real quick. That chart that I gave you, that's gold. Because if you're not speaking, if you're not practicing Hebrew every day, you're bound to forget. You know what I'm saying? That's why at least have it in your phone or something. The chart just to go back to like I'm doing now. Okay, that's crazy. Okay, he walked is actually leaving it alone. So I'm gonna change this just so we have some practice. Change this to will walk. He will walk to the camp, or he is walking. Is walk to the camp. So he is walking. Halak for he, and present tense currently walking is hawalak. You put the y after the first letter. So hawalak. So hawalak hamalakma is saying he is walking to the camp, just like that. But we're gonna go even more and put he in Hebrew. So you have that extra fortification with he is walking. So hawa is how you say he. We got our conjugation for the verb and we got our conjugation for the noun. We got our complete thought. He is the subject. What he's doing, the verb is walking, and the object is the camp. He is walking to the camp already. I think that's enough for now, so we can start getting into the questions. We came here for a reason, right? We want to finish the Hebrew milk. So let's get it done. I want to leave the. I'll write it back. Nah, I can't write it back. I need the space. So we just have to remember that a complete sentence is a subject, a verb, and then an object. All right. All right, so I'm gonna give us a word bank real quick. So for questions, we need to know the basics, right? How to say who, how to say what, how to say why, how to say when, do this like this. There's a way I gotta write it. It's blocky, is I gotta write it a certain way because the notes are gonna be easier to present if I write it this way. So we got what, uh, why, and then we have where and how. And then we have who and when. Who, what, when, where, why, how. I need to give me more room. But then we're gonna have some more words because after we find out how to say these, we're gonna have to learn how to words that come active after it. I believe it's called the predicate, but the word that you say what when you're asking what you're saying when you're asking what is her name or what are they doing? That is and that are they're very important in questions. Why is or why are? Where are? How many? You know what I'm saying? Many. How many? How much? Who? When is it? You know what I'm saying? Those things. So we're gonna get those too. So is really is it slash it is. I'm gonna I'm gonna break that down as we go along. It is and is it. It's the same word. Are much or how large rather and many. How many? Yeah, let's break that down. Many. And two more. This. You gotta know how to say this. And you gotta know how to say that. All right. So that's gonna be our word bank. We're gonna know how to say these things. Could have gave us a little bit more space. Who, when, it is, and is it. Is it. So what and why? So for for these two right here, and also how and where they can be, they, for these two especially. But there's another one for why. I'll give us two for why. But so Hebrew, we gotta remember Hebrew is a language for black and brown people, and we already see what black and brown people have done to English and Creole and even Spanish. You know what I'm saying? We bring slang to it. We make it easier and more fluent to say. You know what I'm saying? Even though this was a language given directly to us, we even still, you know what I'm saying, made it even more fluid. Well, I guess it's naturally more fluent because it's naturally a black and brown language. But I say all this to say, you know how you can sometimes ask a question in Ebonics using the wrong question at, but it's still the same. Like like how you gonna do that? How is it supposed to say how many or how are they how is that going? How is this going on? Or how many? I guess it's not sounding right, but pretty much I'm saying why come you had to do that? Black people say that all the time. Why come you had to do that? Why come? You know what I'm saying? Why come is not, but it's not the proper way to say it, but it's still getting a point across. We instead of saying I, all right, I'm just gonna go ahead and teach. So what and why are both um ma? You can use both of those to say ma. Now another way to say why is also mata why. But ma works just as good for both of them. And then where and how, you can say both of those by saying ayan. And you've probably seen that before. And I meant to say this, but I've been rushing the whole time. I was supposed to get into to adjectives also. Adjectives is too advanced, even for me to teach. You know what I'm saying? I see when getting into adjectives the same way where and how is ayan, or I'm thinking of the word ayash, which means man. So ayan work it fits as its own word. But like I was just getting ready to say, there's too many different words being used for too many different things in the adjectives. Like the word ayash or like the word let's say bayath, it means house. Bayath can mean something totally different when going into adjectives. You know what I'm saying? Then we'd have to remember the adjective use of the word as well as the original use of the word. Then we have to remember all the conjugations of the word, so it just get too advanced. I'm gonna leave adjectives alone. Maybe one day I'll be able to present it in a way that is memorable. But as for now, we're gonna leave adjectives alone. But saying these questions we could do. So ayan is where, how, and ma is what and why. Why is also matter why, and then who and when. Who is maya. When is on. On. So let's get these in the Hebrew real quick. Then we're gonna go on to our secondary letters. So ma, just like that. Two letters, one connected. Ma. Then matter why, wrote that way too big. Damn, how we doing with time? Shit, we We got 15 minutes left. I'm gonna have to leave it like that. So that's just a paleo for our practice, or our ancient rather. That's just the ancient. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna fit the rest the way it's supposed to be. Ayan, ayan, maya. Two words, right? Two connected. You got ma, now ya, ma, ya, maya. And on. All right. So we're gonna start to formulate our sentence as we're learning these new words. So the first sentence we're gonna use is, what are you working on? What are you working? Ooh. You might already see how we're gonna go about attacking this sentence and create and translating it into Hebrew. So what, we have ma, right? That's gonna be our first word that we translate, ma, ma, ma. But then we got to get r. So let's learn these new words real quick. So it is and it is and it is and is it. So these are both za. And I put it like that because not only is are and many and much and this and that and it is and is it, these are used to answer questions as well as ask questions. How many is it? It is this many. What are you doing? I am doing well. I am. So I am and are is going to be the same thing. Are and is going to be the same thing. And also, we got to remember we could use these too. Like, if you don't recall, in the prayers we have words like kaya, you, and ya. Where's ya? Wait, there's a prefix combined with a suffix. So or two, yeah, prefix ka, as, or like. So I guess like it, they're not prefix combined with suffix. They're two prefixes alone. So kaya, I guess they are prefix. So what I'm trying to say is you can combine these to, you can use two or even one of these combined, or two or more, no, two, one or two combined, or just one alone, of either or, to get your point across with saying, answering questions or asking questions. Like kaya is as for, because we have ka and ya, my. So as for my, it is like is that your dawada? Kaya as for my dial, as for my dawada, as for this, is almost, it's just like saying that. So remember, we can use these prefixes and suffixes also, but I just got the ones that we don't really know about on this one. So R is Yash. Yash. So Ma, Mayash. These will have to be hyphenated. Mayash. And then we go on to have what are you working on? So that could be you working is already the conjugated verb. You know, remember, we don't have to say the you. We can conjugate working to be present tense and for you. So, but we're gonna do it anyway for our practice. So, asa, mayash asa. To work is abad is to serve. What is it again? Oh, damn, I forgot. It's on the tip of my head. That's why I used that word. To work, abad is to serve. To work, Aisha. Aisha, that is. So Aisha, working, you, we just went over this. So let's just double check. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be certain. You is the same thing as he. So Aisha is to work. You work is I was shot. Working rather. I was shot. And on, I'm gonna just say over. What are you working over? I mean, that works, right? I. What are you working over? I should know how to say on. On is one of them things, huh? Don't worry, we'll get a recap in when I have more time. But there we have it. What are you working on? Or what are you working over? Let me change it because we don't want to just be fabricating what it's saying. What are you working over? What are you working over? Mayash Atha Iwasha Isle. What are you working over? Uh-huh. So we have Za, is it? R, Yash, much, or how large. This is one of those words that starts to get confusing even before adjectives. You've heard of the word gadol, right? Gadol means greatness. Well, that's the same word we use for how much or how large, how great rather. Gadol. And how many? I haven't heard this word before, but it sounds familiar. Kabiyah, not copyar, but kabiyah. Kabayar, many. How many do you have? I have this many. And then we have this and that. That is uh daya, and this is jakan. So that's just enough to get us started, man. I'm gonna get these in Hebrew. Try to get as much as I can fit in. Zah, Yash, Gadal, Kabiyar, Yeah. All right. That's it. I'm gonna get us the Hebrew in that sentence, and if I have enough time, let's see how much time we got. Yep, I got enough time for one more sentence. Let's try to get a sentence with a quantity or a quality, like how many or how much. Let's get this Hebrew on for this real quick. So again, even though these is a Hebrew verbalization, it's still English. Now that we're writing in Hebrew, the actual Hebrew symbols, Lashawan Qadash, we're starting at the right and moving our way left. So ma is our first word. Ma. Ayash. Ata. I was shot. I was shot. I knew I forgot something. You spell I was shot with that H at the end, which is this ha in Hebrew. All right. Ma yash ata I was sha ayo. I've got my last word. Mayash ata I was sha ayo. What are you working over? Now, next time when I go over it, not only will I have I'm gonna have to look over the tape or the recording to see what the first thing I'm supposed to get for next time. But I know I'm gonna have this also. I'm gonna get whatever we were talking before and get. Do we put a question mark right there? It's on the wrong side, right? And it's really English or Spanish. Or where do we put a question mark right here? I'm gonna find out right about that. I believe it might go on this side, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna find out for certain. As for today, we're just gonna be doing it. We're gonna be forming our questions without the question mark. Alrighty. So now let's get another sentence. You see how the sentence is still the same sentence structure, right? It has the subject, the verb, and the object. And all we're doing with a question is posing the subject, verb, and object as a question. Who is walking over there? You know what I'm saying? There's still a subject, verb, and an object, but you just add that question to the beginning of it to make the complete thought a question. All right. So we did what? We're gonna do how, right? How many or how much gold is it? How much gold is it? Um, how much gold is it? I mean, we pretty much have everything right there except for gold. But let's get it done. How much gold is it? And I guess you know what I'm saying. If I'm asking this as a term of currency, gold of currency, and how much does it cost? So you can replace gold with how many dollars is it or something like that, I guess. But we're gonna say how much. This is a sentence that probably was asked a lot in the days of the Old Testament. How much gold? If I had my notes, I would say how much gold do you have, and I would put have to possess, you possess. That would be a good one, but I don't have enough time to find that. So how much gold is it? So how? You got how right? Ayan. Ayan Gadal. How great? Great. Or it should be much, right? It should be how many? How many gold shekels is it? That's what I'm gonna say. How many gold shekels is it? Because how much gold is it is one of those things I was just saying, right? We don't even know that. That's slang. How much gold is it? That's slang right there. That's not real. That's not correct verbiage. We do it all the time, but it works. We perfected it to the point where it sounds regular. How many gold shekels is all right? So how many? Ayan Kabiyar. Gold, gold shekels. So gold is zahab, right? Shekels. I think it's qua. I can find out because we just read it. I'm gonna just look it up and the two-letter lookup to not waste no time. Bakwai. It says Bakwai is a shekel. I remember it being something different, but no sweat. So gold shekels, zahab. It's actually hazahab. Or I think hazahab is gold in, but I'm just gonna we just doing the basic skin, flesh and bone, skeletal structure of Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? We're not formulating of different ways to skin a cat. We're doing the basic way. So zahab, and it says, what did it say? Bakwai. Bakwayam. Uh-huh. Bakwayam. So we not only got a question right here, Ayan Kabiyar, but we got a noun that's been conjugated for plural. Bakwai is shekel, Bakwayam is shekels. So Zahab Bakwayam, golden shekels. And then we got our last part of uh, the question. Zah, how many golden shekels is it? Ayan, Kabiyar, Zahab, Bakwayam, Zah. How many golden shekels is it? I guess you know what I'm saying. For shorter, real quick, asking how much is the price. You say ayan kabiyar, how much or how many? How much would be ayan gadal? How much? Ayan gadal. But this is how many gold shekels is it? Ayan kabiyar zaha bakwayam za. So we 16 over. I got just enough time to get this in the Hebrew. So we got to do that, right? So now we keep going from right to left. Ayan is our first word. Ayan. Kabayar. Ha. Bakwai. Bakwayam. Za. It's lucky I wasn't able to get both the Paleo and the Assyrian. But you know what I'm saying? Again, time is of the essence today. But I think we was able to pretty much get, you know what I'm saying, the basics of how to ask a question in Hebrew. Again, the what's it called? The adjectives will take us to the next level. But adjectives in Hebrew and the Lashawan Qadash is not simple. It's not simple at all. So it's lucky, but there you go. So with that, we're gonna close out. I want to give a clue to the brothers and then to the sisters. You know what I'm saying, men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah Barakatah, Yadi Matah, which means hands down. Sorry, we're gonna turn and face the sisters. Courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alatan Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Yadi Matah, class dismissed.